So this morning, Saturday, so this video that is gonna eventually publish, I laugh. New videos every once in a while. What's happening, YouTube? Today I figured I'd shoot a bit of a day in the life of sort of an owner-operator, but now it's more turning into just an owner-manager, which is good and, you know, sad at the same time because it's less seen to think. But here's how my day goes. So it's currently 6:44 a.m. I wanted to leave like a half an hour ago. I left 5 minutes ago. I started the day at 3 o'clock, woke up, thinking about the day, how everything's gonna go. Went to bed around, probably fell asleep about 9. Laid in bed thinking about how comfortable it was, and I didn't want to get up because it was so comfortable. I wasn't tired, but thinking about, you know, your brain starts running. Like, the brain just starts going. Finally 4 o'clock, like, screw it, I'm just gonna get up, have some coffee. That'll be great. So from like 4 until, let's see, 6:15, it was put 2 bids together for some projects, did some payroll stuff, did some other just bookwork, just paperwork, office work stuff from 4 till about 6:15. Still not enough time. I can still sit there for another really day and do more bids and catch up on other stuff, but the important things are done. Now I'm running to go meet the builder for this project up here in Keewaydin, and we're gonna not lay out, but just make sure we got our grade set and make sure we're just on the same page, because we'll backfill that one on Friday, Saturday is the plan. So we'll get that, I'll go meet him. Meanwhile, I've got the guys who are gonna show up at 7. There's a bunch of pipe fittings, all kinds of miscellaneous stuff at the shop that needs to go, and, you know, just needs to go. So I can't be there for that, and I would have loaded it for him. But anyways, so you got to call one of them, go over the plan, make sure they're going to get everything they need to get. Hopefully they don't forget anything, because often things get forgotten. And the job is like 35-40 minutes away, so let's not forget anything. The hardware store is like 25 minutes away from where that's at. So you got to make sure that's all going good. The septic tanks, we're going to put in a septic system today, or at least get the tanks in and get the field in, then they'll come inspect it tomorrow. So that's all got to go well. Yesterday the dump truck was parked on the side of the road with cones around it, and a dump truck hit the mirror and took out the mirror and basically the door. So that was a big, why doesn't this bus pull over and let this traffic go around? I mean, come on. Like, there's 1, 2, 3, 5 cars and you're doing 50 miles an hour. Like, I'm all for safety and stuff, but let's go, people. What was I saying? So we got 2 tanks coming. We have to set the tanks because the truck can't get around to set the tanks. So we got to have room for the tanks to lay out on the ground. We got to dig our hole. We put the Kelly well in yesterday to dry the hole out. So hopefully that all held through the night. It should be fine. It's only, the well itself is 5 feet below grade. It's not very deep, but the water level is high. So there's just a ton of things. I mean, literally, there's got to be 100 things that need to go basically perfect every day to make this all happen and work. And then the phone rings. Hang on. Yep. So things already. You know, Mason just woke up. He lives like 40 minutes away, so he'll be late. Just things like that. No, it'll be all right without. He can. That's fine. Drew and Pete can get loaded, and that will be just fine. the point of this is it's like so many things have to go. I mean, not 100%, but they gotta go pretty close to like as planned. Yesterday we had this tank pump, the old tank pump, so we can crush it and get rid of it. Well, what it was, the old tank flowed into a dry well, and the dry well was full of effluent, full of water. So I dug it out, trying to make room so that the water could seep into the ground. It just wasn't happening, so I had to call the pumper back. So he's got to come back and pump out the dry well area this morning. Man, the guy behind me is hot to trot, hotter to trot than I am. So he'll come back, pump the rest of that drywall sludge out of there, get that cleaned up, and we can fill everything with sand. Basically all the sand that we're digging out for the tanks, the majority of that sand is going to go to fill where the drywell was at and to fill where the old tank was at. Then once we set the tanks, setting the tanks is going to take a little bit of time because we're in groundwater. So hopefully that well works as it should, and we got lots of stone there, bringing out some more stone because we'll over dig it, put stone in the base of the hole, grade the stone out, set the tanks on the stone, get the tanks in, fill the tanks with a little bit of water so they fill, or so they don't float, because it probably wouldn't float. It's not that much groundwater, but definitely want to get the tanks like a third full would be a good call. So there's just so many things throughout the day that need to go right, need to go well, and just you know, you guys want to start your own thing? That's what you're signing up for. So just know that it's never always like easy and simple. There's a lot of moving parts and things that need to happen the right way throughout the day to make it go well. So all right, stay tuned, check you later, bye. But no, like, so the theme of this video, I guess, is kind of the day in the life when I feel like, not when I feel like it, but when I remember, oh, I should turn the camera on. So it's like 6:30 right now, Saturday morning. Gooseneck skid steer compactor going up to a project, really good customer. Porcupine. And quite honestly, I'm just not feeling it today. Like, just not feeling it. Tired, slept pretty well, but just feel like I could have stayed in bed, which I wouldn't have slept. I would have just tossed and turned likely. But everybody wants to become an excavating operator, equipment operator, / business owner / weekend warrior. This is a ton of work. Like, had anybody told me, I mean, and they kind of did, and like I kind of knew it to a point, but like, it's way more work than you will ever imagine. Like, way more work. And not so much like, I mean, I'm at the point now where the physical, like, I really don't shovel much anymore. I really don't, you know, chainsaw. I pretty much just operate, and I feel like I probably spend, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours a day in the machine, and then another, depending on the day, 6 to 8 hours either looking at jobs on the phone, driving, hauling, some combination of that. And it is at the point right now, and if you have called me, wanted work, and you're watching this and you're like, how come this guy hasn't called you back? Like, I apologize. I just my phone rings, I'd probably say at least one call every single hour. I pick it up, I answer if it's, you know, if I can. I do appreciate those of you we are staying in touch, and you are on my list. Like, thank you for your patience. It's just a lot of work, and I guess where I'm at too, like, yeah, I could easily, I shouldn't say easily, but I could probably hire another crew, right? The problem with that is there's a bit of a labor shortage up here, and the crew I have now is awesome, like very good. I would prefer to work with these guys like on site for sure the rest of this year, and then, you know, partially through next year. And then you've got one crew, like a well-rounded, well, call it built crew. And I say bit like just experience-wise. Like when we installed 2 septic tanks on Wednesday, and that was a perfect example. That video will eventually be on Extreme Sandbox's channel. But there were just scenarios there that none of them had experienced before. We had just water in the hole. And if you've ever had water in your hole, you know that no matter how much you dig, the hole just keeps getting bigger and you never find a bottom. You know, you can never get grade. There's water. It's just a mess. Like you keep digging and digging and digging. It just doesn't work out. So there were things that happened. I mean, it all worked out fine. Like tank went in, we got it. But had I not been there, that second tank likely would have never gone in. Not on that day. But there's just things like, so like I would rather create a very, you know, as experienced crew as I can get, and then build another crew, you know, start another crew after that. And that can be accomplished either by splitting, you know, I could split Drew and Pete up. Pete could have his own crew. Pete is really doing very well, but he's likely going to need a couple years before he can operate well enough. I don't know. You never know. At least another year. But it's good to watch them all learn. And myself, like it's good. It's good. Like I'm learning a lot too. And the point, I guess, is like I don't want to grow. Sacrifice quality for just to get more work, and then really like more work is just more me managing stuff, and I do enjoy being in the field. I'm not saying, you know, I do everything 110% all the time, but at least it's always the goal to do things to the highest quality that, you know, you can do them, that I can do them, that the budget allows. You know, sometimes people don't want a screen topsoil. Sometimes people want to put a walkout basement in a spot where it shouldn't be a walkout basement. You know, there are some really, really interesting things, and I'm not talking that particular project isn't on video, but there's a lot of things that justify why any kind of building in general, construction project in general, goes the way it goes, or uses the materials it uses, or not uses for that term. You know, it's budget. Some people just don't want to pay for it, and that's just kind of how it is. So you got to work with what you can and make the best of it. But anyway, I'm almost here to this project. Appreciate you guys watching. And check out the Extreme Sandbox channel. Keep working on videos for them, and appreciate you watching. All right, take care. Bye.